As we see the economy continuing its recovery, travel plays a very crucial role in understanding exactly how people are spending their money and whether discretionary spends are increasing or not. To speak more on this and get a better context of the kind of upbeat mood on travel, whether we're seeing international travel picking up from India, especially during the summer vacations. I'm speaking today with Ritu Mehrotra of Booking.com. She's in fact with us in our Mumbai studios. Ritu, great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
And this is a sign of how we've opened up. We're having you in the studios after a long time post-pandemic.
And it's great to be here.
Yeah, great to have you here as well. So the idea of the interview today actually is to sort of get a sense of where we're at in terms of travel interest coming out of India. So can you start by giving us a broad picture?
I would say this is going to be a fantastic summer after a long time. People have been locked up in their homes for almost 3 years now, and we are seeing a cheer. Even if I talk about global numbers, we moved from 25 billion to 27 billion. 25 was the peak of 2019, and we have broken all those records on the global level.
25 billion in terms of number of travelers.
25 billion in terms of our overall value of travel. And so from 25 billion at the peak of 2019, which was the highest number that we had seen, we are actually at 27 billion, right? So we've broken those records already. As we move into April, our numbers are already up from 2019, including India as a destination. And I think as markets are opening up, we will see this number only going to grow from here.
So give us a little more specific information on India, because you've talked about the overall number. Now, in India, you're seeing a lot of people call it a curate's egg, right? Two parts of it. So you have one section of the society who has not traveled for 2 years and is waiting to spend some money, and then of course you have this inflation hit coming up and eating into discretionary spends. What trends are you seeing playing out as far as India is concerned?
So 2 or 3 things, right? First of all, I think people are going to travel, and we are not seeing that to slow down, at least for this summer, as you're talking about. Yes, I think inflationary pressure is there, but we are not seeing that yet. In fact, what we are seeing is that we call it ADR, average daily rates for rooms. They have actually gone up by a few percentage points. So I don't think that's coming down. Now, a couple of things that are also playing a very interesting role here, right? First is people are looking for value for money, right? And that's where flexibility comes into play, because people are still not sure if the travel plans are going to play out or not. And that's where we introduce flexible one-day policies for our users so that they can cancel anytime. We also introduced a lot of deals. We call it getaway deals, just to ensure that people who are still looking for value at the brink, should I make this holiday decision or not, we should be able to provide that. 2/3 of the booking is made on mobile on our platform, right? Because you know that how pandemic has pushed the overall digital platform to the next level.
Right.
And therefore people are using technology more and more, and that's where we are also introducing some of these mobile deals so that people can actually utilize them.
So just a minute here. You talked about ADRs going up, which is in line with your inflation trends, right? Rooms are getting more expensive, flights are getting more expensive. Is that impacting demand at all?
Not really. As I said, our numbers are higher than 2019, which was the peak at which where we were, to where we are seeing today.
If we were to break that down a little bit, are you seeing any distinction between interest in domestic travel versus international travel?
Very interesting question. So we are very, very large when it comes to domestic. And up until 3-4 months back, 90% of our business was domestic, upwards of 90%. But in the last month and a half, 2 months, it's kind of moving, and now we're seeing 60-40. So we have always been one of the biggest contributor to bringing tourists from the global markets to India, and we're very proud that apart from building a very, very big, sustainable domestic tourism, we're also started to bring now
So you're saying inbound travelers are increasing?
Yes.
And what about Indians traveling abroad?
Also started.
Okay.
Also started.
So give us a sense of what are the hot destinations right now. Think about it from an Indian traveler's perspective. If they want to travel globally, you have this situation going on in Russia and Ukraine, which is making geopolitics a little iffy. Neighboring Sri Lanka is going through a really tough time. You're not sure what's happening in the neighborhood. Rupee rate compared to the dollar is also a painful reality for a lot of Indians. How do you plan a vacation in this scenario? What are people really doing? Are they changing their favorite destinations because of all of these factors?
So there are a couple of favorite destinations that Indians have, and I would say Thailand, Dubai, US, they always are a part of it. But we're also seeing increased interest in Italy, for example. Switzerland has been like a favorite destination for Indians for a very long time. That continues to be the case. But I would say Italy and some of these places within Western Europe, and Eastern Europe are also coming up on the radar now.
And what about domestically? Is
so
it Goa all the way?
As the heat is soaring and the temperature is rising, a lot of North Indian places like Manali, or even in East Darjeeling, we see a lot of interest for people. McLeodganj and Himachal is something that continues to stay up the charts, but also closer to home. In Maharashtra, Lonavala is one destination that we continue to see heightened interest. But one thing is different now. People are also looking at lesser known places. Like if I would look at Himachal, for example, right, to unpack this a little bit for you, we would see a lot of people will go towards only Manali. But now we see that a lot of people are also thinking about Dharamshala, McLeodganj, right, slightly smaller destinations, but heightened interest. Similarly, if you go down south, right, earlier on, Ooty would be the destination, but not anymore. People are looking at Coorg and going even deeper to Chikmagalur kind of places where they can also experience, local food, local communities, engage with local people, because, that's something that people do want to do more and more now.
Just to understand whether any of the post-COVID trends have persisted. So COVID saw people going to destinations which were motorable. People didn't want to take flights, right, for safety concerns. And then you go somewhere and you sort of spend a lot of time there, home away from home, work, staycation, workation kind of thing. Is that trend now over?
No, still continuing. And the good thing is that while that continues, there is also international longer duration travel. And I'll give you some statistics as well, right? So Booking has one of the largest inventory for homes, even in India. And so we are short of, 1 million overall listings in the country. And a large proportion, this is overall, and a portion of it is homes, which will mean vacation rentals, B&Bs, villas, beach homes, right? So all of those come together as alternative accommodation is what we call it. We still see, people are still going, checking into these beach homes, and the stay windows have actually increased, because I don't think business models are changing very frequently, right? People have been hybrid. We will have some kind of hybrid work models. I don't think that's going to change. So people are still going, and we see longer stay windows, shorter book windows on the platform, and flexibility continues to be one of the big themes that we see. One other thing I want to touch upon is sustainability. I always say that, one of the positive things that happened because of COVID is we have understood the impact of our actions on environment. And often people don't understand what it really means, right? So if I tell you to take a sustainable vacation, you'll say, I would like to, but I don't know what it means. So Booking launched about 30 different features, to ensure our average users is not thinking, if I take a sustainable vacation, it means less luxury, or will mean I will not get the right choice of inventory, right? So, for example, what kind of single-use plastics is property partner using, or the solar lighting, etc. So we just make it easy. So that's one thing that we're seeing as well.
Okay, let me revisit the tariff question, because you're saying it's not impacting, but from what I'm anecdotally seeing, and that's what I want to ask you. Is it going to? Because it's impossible that you are going to be paying 30 to 40% more for that vacation, because prices have jumped up, and it's not going to impact your decision making. Either you will downtrade, or you will find a domestic alternative, or even domestically you will switch your plan a little bit. Are you beginning to see signs of that? Do you think there will be movement in that direction?
Possibly. Look, what happens in future is yet to be seen. I think at Booking, we are still not seeing that trend yet. But if it continues to be being here for longer duration, possibly we'll start to see that. We have to understand one more thing, that 2.5 years, a lot of people haven't taken a vacation, right? So people would want to right now go out and have that kind of vacation that they have not had, and maybe over time we see that trend sort of playing with people's discretionary spend.
So that pent-up demand means you're okay to pay more, but you want to have that experience now.
At least for now, that's what we see.
All right, so last question here. What would you say is the best way to navigate the site if you want to plan a vacation on a budget? You want to find the best deal. How do you do that? What are your special tips to navigate the site and get the best deal?
So first is app is one of the best ways to get the best prices, by the way, let me tell you that. As it is, a large proportion of our users are on app, rather 2/3 as I mentioned to you, right? And we keep introducing different ways to incentivize our loyal users. And by the way, there's a way we call our loyal users is Genius. And we have just introduced a lot of benefits for our Genius users as well on the platform.
Are these benefits actually promotional and marketing tools, or do they actually translate into discounts?
Oh my God, you should ask a Genius user. They will not give that away for anything, because apart from what our partners also sort of help, giving that experience to the users, we actually bring in a lot of benefits as well for our Genius Level 3 users, because these are loyal customers of Booking, and we want to make sure that every vacation they go for, they have that wow experience.
All right, so hopefully you'll figure out a wow experience of your own on any of these online sites out there. But Ritu, thank you for joining us today and giving us insight into how India's traveling.
Thank you so much, Samanna.